not seeing my picture, I'm doing this at the request of the Wild Ute. He gave me good advice and said, hey, you know what? If BYU wins or if BYU loses, which they're never going to lose again, let's do a post-game breakdown. Now, of course, I don't have all of the facts in front of me. I don't have the stats. I heard broadly there were some numbers thrown around. And give me a second. I am going to go on Twitter, and I need to make sure that the Twitterati know that my show is going right this second. Let's see here. How do we make sure the game is going? Oh, I know. Let's go to YouTube. Hey, Bomber, that's pretty much what you have to do. Let's start this and let's kick it off and say, yeah, let's just college football mafia. I'm going to go, let me share this to the world. I hope you're watching live. If you're watching live, it means you know also that BYU won this afternoon, this evening. Join me live now to discuss. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in. Obviously, everybody knows we do not have the phone link working, but I want to do a post-game feedback session. Let's do a sort of review, a redux, as it were. I'm going to post the link right now in the comment section. Please feel free to join me. Here's the link to join the show. Invite. I'm going to post that in the comment section. Click on that link and come on and tell me what is going on. One, with UCF. They look like they're a troubled program. And let me say now, I'm going to put, sorry, let me get Bomber on here so everybody knows it's me in the house. There we go. And UCF has problems, right? UCF has issues, not being able to throw the ball being probably their biggest issue. Defense wasn't bad. They made a few key mistakes, though. Very poor angles. Very, very poor angles. I'm not sure what UCF is thinking in some of their tackling drills. There were things that, yeah, I would, weren't excited about with BYU's tackling. Here, I'm going to post a link again. If you want to join the show, I just posted the link in the comment section. Click on that link and, yeah, come and join me. If you're watching on Twitter, and I know some people are watching on Twitter and Twitch. I don't have a way for you guys to join outside of you clicking the link that's in the comment section. But I want to hear from people. I don't want to just be the only one that's talking. So I'm going to go back and I'm quickly going to see if I can get a breakdown of the BYU versus UCF stats, because I think there was some stuff in there that will be kind of shocking. Let me see if I can find a retro. Maybe it's on ESPN. Give me a second here. ESPN.com. All I want is to find out if anybody believes. Let me go to the box score, see if I can get some stats. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to share my screen. I don't fell for scams. I'm not sure, Craig, what you're saying. I'm going to post the link again. If you want to join the show, let's talk about it together. If you're on X, that link will work for you too. There we go. I just posted it again. Let me bring up the stats and we'll go through them together. All right. That way you don't think I'm coming up with anything. And at the end of the day, we're dealing with ESPN telling us what's really right and what's really wrong with this UCF team. Everybody knows where we are with BYU. Very efficient passing team, growing into the running game. The problem that we're having for BYU is turnovers again. Stupid turnovers. An interception that was, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm speaking not of an interception. I'm talking about fumbles. I can't believe some of the fumbles. I'm thinking and I'm watching the game to myself, and the fumbles just drive me nuts because your hands are on the ball, then your hands aren't on the ball. And that's a problem for BYU, and that has to change. But let's quickly run through some of these stats. And then, and I posted the link. You want to join the link, join the show. I'm going to keep posting it. So if you're here, join me so I'm not the only one talking. So Drake Retzlaff, 16 to 24, 228. I think the last 3 games he's did 218. So 228 is more than his average, but it's freaky close to his average on a season level, which is just insane. And 2 touchdowns, right? If your quarterback's going to give you 2 touchdowns, you have to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'm going to have a defense that's going to be able to help protect that. Compare that to UCF, and they're a combined 14 for 27. You don't necessarily, that's 50%. That's just almost exactly what BYU's is. But it's the 2 interceptions that are just killer. 2 interceptions. You can't win games if you lose the turnover battle, and everybody knows that. So I'm not telling everybody. I would be curious, again, if there's a UCF fan, please join the show and tell me what you feel about your UCF team after you just watched it. All right, I posted the link again. How do you have 2 quarterbacks? And what system is that? And who do you blame? Is it the offensive coordinator? Is it the offense in general? There's just nothing there. And is it the head coach? And in my opinion, this is a strategy challenge. This is a challenge that only the head coach can answer. And they'll probably end up firing the offensive coordinator. It's usually the first guy to go, just like happened at Utah last week. But you can't be mixing up your offensive line with different quarterbacks. Gives you different cadence, gives you a different feel for how the offense actually runs. And a total of 198 yards. Again, 30 yards less than BYU, but BYU's defense is lights out. And without the turnovers that BYU has, even 1 turnover can cost you the game. And obviously, this was a 2-possession game. And I don't understand the changing of quarterbacks unless one got hurt, and I didn't see that on broadcast. So somebody can tell me that. Why did you hack? I don't know who you are, Craig the Panda. It's really easy. If you're gonna not be nice to people, we have another way we can solve that. I'm not sure who you are, so yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to engage. Let's talk about rushing. This is where BYU has really come in and started to do well. LJ Martin's obviously healthy again. 15 carries, 101 yards. That's a pretty good average, people. BYU's going to win some games if they can get their main their main runner can get them a total of 252 yards on the ground. You're going to win a lot of games if you have a passing game to go with it. If we combine the running and the passing, 252 plus 228, just under 500 yards of offense, you're going to win a lot of games. That's bottom line. You're going to win a lot of games. So, all right, let's keep going. I'm going to post the link again. I'm going to keep doing this until I can get somebody to join the show with me. I'm doing this tongue in cheek, but I really would like to talk to somebody, especially if you're a UCF guy. And you know what? Let me do another favor to everybody. Let me repost. This is live television, everybody. Let me repost the show link, except for I'm going to put a different title in here. Let's go down. Join us live right now. Let's talk UCF at Central Florida. I can't remember if that. We'll just go UCF. Let's talk UCF. Need people to join the show. All right. I'd be very open and honest about these things and how they go. Okay. All right. Let me get back to the score panel here. So, LJ Martin, 100 yards. Look, you're not going to do better than that. And he had one catch of 20 yards. That is fantastic. If you can average that, you're going to win a lot of games. Hinckley Rapati, 83 yards. If you haven't ever seen Hinckley, I've seen him in person. He has thighs that are about that big. Incredible balance. He's going to be really, really good as we get later into this playoff time. Jake Retzlaff ran for, ran for 38. His longest was 29. He gets first downs on those runs. That's exactly what you have to get out of a quarterback that runs this type of an offense. Let's see here. Keelan Marion, one rush, 18 yards, but that one rush for 18 yards pretty much sealed the game for BYU. I said that to my wife at the time. That run on third down and long made a huge difference. It was third or second down. I might be off a down, but it needed to happen to get to the next set of downs, and it did. And Keelan Marion stepped up where he needed to. I'll get to UCF stats in just a second. Will Farron, who is the kicker, 8 yards on that fake field goal. I love it. I liked seeing that. It was a lot of creativity. Parker Kingston, 5 yards in rushing. He's slight of frame. I don't want him getting hurt, so that's not a big deal. Chase Roberts got 2 yards on another end around. I'm not a fan of the side to side end around plays. Not a fan at all. But, they won the game, so I can't really complain. And then Miles Davis came in at the very end of the game. And let's see, his longest run was 3 yards. So Miles Davis has largely been relegated to third or fourth string just because of the great runners in front of him. I kind of feel bad for his opportunities. He's had injury issues, if you didn't know. All right. Let me post again. UCF. I'm going to do it. I know people get tired of this, but I want a UCF person to tell me more over these stats for Central Florida. So we talked about the passing, less than 200 yards passing, and a dominant running team. That's okay. But if you're not going to do great on the running side, then only 200 in the air is it's an incredibly it breaks the tempo and certainly what your ideas need to be. All right. All the ones we knew about. RJ Harvey, dude's a stud. He's going to be playing in the NFL. 16 rushes for 127 yards. His longest was 54. That 54 scared me. But what does it remind everybody of? What does it remind everybody of? It reminds everybody of what happened last week with Ollie Gordon, right? Ollie Gordon, his run was 51, 52 yards. I would rather we don't give those up, all right? If you're a BYU fan, we cannot be giving up 50-yard runs to anybody, let alone their best running backs. Is it great that it worked out? Of course, but come on, we can't be doing that week in and week out. Dylan Rizek, another quarterback, 4 rushes for 31 yards. Johnny Richardson, and the rest of these, not very much. But again, what did I tell you? 181 yards rushing to go along with 198 yards passing. Unless you're playing an extremely tight game with no turnovers, you're not going to win many games that way because BYU's almost got 500. And would have had 500 if they didn't just kneel out at the end of the game. Bottom line. Let's talk defense. So receiving. Chase Roberts, Darius Lassiter, those guys are going to end up playing on Sundays. If you don't know them, get used to their names. Parker Kingston, Ryder Swanson, he's a freshman tight end. Remember his name. He's going to be good in the future. Very, very good. Cody Hagan, he's been with the program a while, 16 yards. Hinckley Rapati, great receiving running back. Keelan Marion, 1 catch for, 12 yards. LJ Martin for 2 yards. And Mata'ava Ta'ese. Sorry. I'm just going to say MT. If you're family of MT and I know I've got his name wrong, please let him know. I apologize. It's not on purpose. You already know I have problems with my tongue as it is. So it's one of those deals at the end of the day. I'm going to get Okay, it is. Let me just see here. I don't understand who this guy is, and I don't know. Um, let's do this. We will get rid of him. I don't know if you are Craig the Panda. You're in timeout. I don't know who you are. Send me a DM on Twitter. Let's talk. But it doesn't matter how good or bad I am. Coming on this channel is not acceptable, and that's not what we do around here. All right. UCF receiving, again, you have one guy that had 116 yards. That is fantastic. Something you should really look forward to if you're a UCF fan. Um, Chauncey Magwood, right? RJ Harvey, running back, catching balls out of the back. Randy Pittman, I think, is also a running back. I don't know him or Kobe Hudson, so I'm going to sort of defer and take a step back from those two. But RJ Harvey, everybody knows, is a fantastic runner, and now we know he can catch the ball. Hey, Matt, good to see you. Let me just get through these stats, and then we'll quickly do shout-outs to everybody who's watching. If you're new to the channel, here, let me just take this down for a second. Appreciate everybody watching right now. Follow me on Twitter. Certainly subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on X or you're watching on Twitter, please jump over to the College Football Mafia Network or Big 12 Mafia channel on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Let us know we're doing a good job, or tell me I'm doing a bad job. But if you're going to do that, give me a reason. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. And just let us know how we're doing. Comments on X come through, thankfully. So if you're watching on X and you have something to say, put it in the comment section. I'll certainly try to get it. But most importantly is follow me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, that's just sort of what we do around here. We're a team, and this is my post-game breakdown. Everybody knows I'm not a stat guy, but I am a feeling guy. I'm an emotion guy, and that's what you're going to get out of me in this next 7 minutes, unless you guys engage me on some massive level and you guys want to do a huge Q&A. Then I'll do that. If you guys want to engage with Q&A, let's do it. Start giving me questions. We'll quickly run through the rest of these stats. Fumbles. Look, people, whatever, UCF, right? UCF does their own thing. This is unacceptable if you're a BYU fan. And it's just unacceptable. Jake Retzlaff cannot be fumbling the ball. And if he is, then why does he have it in his hands? That is huge. And LJ Martin, that's another one. Neither one of those should be fumbles. If BYU wants to compete for the CFP, even win one game in the CFP, they cannot have any turnovers. It's just not allowed. They can't do it. I'm going to post the link if you're watching and want to join the show, or even if you don't want to talk about the show, we could talk about your shoe size. I'm okay with that. But click that link and get in here with me, and let's talk about this game. Big 12, that's what we're doing. Big 12. That's what we're talking about right now. As far as defense, and I got to say, BYU's defense was lights out. UCF's defense did okay. They were put in some bad spots by the offense, but I mean, look at these numbers. Crew Wakely 5, Isaiah Glasker 5, Blake Mengelson had 4. Let's see, sacks. Blake had 1. I hope Blake's feeling good. He looked like he went down there for a minute. Hopefully he's not long time hurt. Tackles for loss, though, are huge too, right? Tanner Wall. I've met Wakely, Glasker, and Wall. They wouldn't remember me, but I've met Harrison Taggart, another stud. These are fantastic human beings, by the way. Isaiah Bagna might be the all-star of the team at the end of the season. Isaiah Bagna does some crazy stuff. He and Glasker they're like twins to me. I see one, I see them both. Cho Bryant Struther, haven't got to know, but he has two tackles. I love it. Jack Kelly, another stud, transfer in from Weber State. Fantastic player for BYU. Falatau Satuwala is a true freshman. Came out of Salt Lake. I'm trying to remember which school. Wasn't Bingham. Anyway, that guy is a freak athletically. And Jay Hill has said, as the team goes, or as he goes, the team will go. He thinks he's a fantastic player, and he's going to be making tackles for a long time for BYU. Let's see here. Tommy Prasis, no interception this week, but he does has 2 tackles. Raider Damunai, Tyler Batty, always checking in with some sort of stat. Jacob Robinson, no interceptions this week. I think this is 2 weeks, no interceptions. Come on, Jacob. We know you've got him in there. Just got to get him in your hands. Miles Hall, Maury Bamba, Jaden Dunlap, Vilayamai Pua, I think that's right. Isaiah Moa, John Tao Moipau, and Evan Johnson. You guys all got stats on the stat book. Check that. Evan did not get a tackle. But everybody else, tons of team. And that's what you're going to see going forward. The difference between BYU and almost every other team in the Big 12. Look around corners. Make sure I'm not giving away any secrets. It's this right here. It's BYU's plays like a team, as a team, tackles as a team, finishes tackles as a team. And yeah, while they might make mistakes, they play as a team and finish as a team. This 37-24, everybody knows, was not as close as the final score. That garbage time touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter, whatever. But that's not what Vegas saw. Vegas saw BYU only up, a point and a half, or getting a point and a half. Win by 13. Come on now, Vegas. Got to do something different. Let's quickly give some UCF stats. We already talked about the fumbles. Dalen Dotson, Nialik, I think is right. Kelly, Quadric Bullard, Sheldon Arnold, Ethan Barr, Josiah Pierre, Zari Alexander, Chasen Johnson, Ricky Barber, Deshaun Pace, Lee Hunter, Matthew Alexander, Jakari Henderson. Jakari's a popular name now, everybody. I'm not sure where that came from, but it comes from somewhere. If you're new and you're watching right now live, 200 people are watching on Twitter and on YouTube. I'm going to post the link. Click on that link. Join. You don't have to have your video on. I should have said earlier, if you join either from X or from YouTube, just come on and talk. I don't need to see your picture. I like conversing with people's faces, but I'm happy to just do this and talk through some of your concerns. UCF people is really who I want to hear from, because your team right now is reeling, and I kind of want to know what your post-game feelings are. All right, let's finish this. Christian Peterson, Braden Marshall, Javarius Johnson, Evan Morris, Damari Henderson, and Brandon Adams. Tip of the hat to all you people that got stats. Evan Johnson, I guess, didn't get a stat, but he made it on the board. So we'll give him that. You guys all played hard. The Big 12 is a tough conference. I just think this time BYU's just a little bit better, and I think they're better than people have thought all along. Kick returns. There was one kick return for 15 yards. That's pretty good. The word around here is you do not return the ball if it's in the end zone or it's short of the 25. Take the free 25-yard line. Try it. Every kick does not have to be kicked and run back. Anyway, that's a whole different show. Will Farron, Grant Reddick, both kicking. Sam Vanderhaar and Mitch McCarthy punting. By the way, the stadium was absolutely beautiful. I've never been there, and I'm not sure what is it in the 40s? Is it 40,000 seats or 38? Somebody correct me in the comment section, please. Tell me what the total seating is for the Knights. I'd be curious because looking at this picture, let me see if I can blow it up. Can I blow it up? Let's see here. I can't blow it up. All right. Well, just looking at this stadium, all kinds of room to grow, right? Man, if you guys get on a roll, your stadium has all kinds of room to grow. So I always have, especially since they were in the same conference. I tip my hat to UCF. All right, I made it through all the stats. Oh, last one was the final line was UCF minus 2.5. BYU was given 2.5 points, and 53.5 is the over under. I don't know who's doing these lines for BYU games. If I was a gambling man, which I'm not, and if I gambled on sports, which I don't, it has nothing to do with I'm online or that I'm not going to admit to something. I literally do not bet sports, and this is the reason. UCF up 2.5 points. That's a ridiculous line. I don't know what games they were watching. BYU beat up Kansas State, right? That was not a walk-away game. And we could do every game, but I'm not going to. Anyway, so that was the final line. That was the final stats. Let's do some shout outs. And then please leave your comments or questions. I'm happy to answer questions or engage in any comments. If we go 5 minutes and I don't get much, I'm going to wrap this up, say what I think about the game, and shut it down and let you guys go and watch the rest of Big 12 football. But let me just get comments right now. We'll start just at the very top. Greg Williams, first guy to join. Appreciate it, Greg. Beating a 3-4, now 3-5 is not a big win. It perception-wise, certainly, Greg, it isn't the greatest win in the world, but it is a win. And I believe, I know at least one undefeated has gone down this weekend. And by this time, maybe it's two. I haven't checked. It is hard to go undefeated, as you guys know from 2017. If you're a UCF fan, I should assume. It's extremely difficult to go undefeated. I don't care what conference you're in, and I don't care what your school is. Extremely difficult to go undefeated. Burger Boy checking in on YouTube. By the way, Greg was on Twitter X. I appreciate that, Greg. Thank you. Burger Boy says football, 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 football. Thank you very much, Burger Boy. Thank you, Greg and Burger Boy. Thanks for joining the show. I appreciate it. Real Outlaw, BYU. Let's go. 8-0 Bomber. Gotta love it, bro. I'm Bomber, if you're new to the channel. And I do love it. And I hope you love it, Outlaw, because we are working through this, and every week gets more and more exciting. That's not it. Here's another one. Ryan Wilkinson. UCF is not good. On to Cincinnati. UCF must play Cincinnati because BYU does not play Cincinnati. So I'm not looking at the schedules. I'm going to assume it's UCF and Cincinnati. That game, Cincinnati's better than people are giving them credit. I predicted last week they would beat Arizona State, and they did. I don't know about the lines or anything. I'll have to get back into that this next week. But UCF certainly lacks leadership. I'm not going to say they're not good. I just think their leadership is very, very poor. And if I was running the organization, Gus Malzahn would be let go right now. Earl Carr checking in, another member. Thanks for being here, Earl. Gotta love it, brother. 8-0. Yep, I do love it, and I appreciate you being here, Earl. BYU got more rushing yards than UCF. Who would have thunk that? That is a surprise. UCF, what they got 300 something last week against Colorado, or was it not quite 300? Or more than that. Maybe it was quite a bit more than that. All I know is not against Colorado, sorry, against Iowa State. If you were to look back to back, who did better, UCF fans? I'm going to post the link again. And for that matter, anybody, Ryan Willie, BYU Outlaw, Earl Carr, anybody, riddle me this. Looking at the two games, Iowa State, BYU, who's the better team in the Big 12? I'm going to tell you right now what the stats say. The stats say BYU is because of this outcome this week. I know it's going to upset people, especially people in Iowa City, but that's what I'm seeing. Let's see. Ryan Willie checking in. Good to see you, Ryan. On Wisconsin. Yeah, Ryan's a Wisconsin fan. If you don't know, aren't a frequenter of this channel, that's where Ryan comes from, and he's a member. And we appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you so much. Scrolling down more. Earl Carr again says, rushing 252, 181. This was huge. So 252 versus 181 yards comparison, I guess, is what Earl's saying. And I agree with you, Earl. I think that's right. Continue to scroll down. Just so everybody knows, this was not intended to be some big show. It's an instant react show. It's a get in front of you guys. Let's find out what you guys are thinking show. And I appreciate everybody being here. A Max says, howdy, y'all. Good win, BYU. Congratulations. My team stinks. I'm sorry, A Mac. It sucks when your team stinks. 513 Bearcat, that would be Cincinnati, says, congrats to BYU. Thank you very much, Bearcat. I appreciate it. AMAC says, I think it's around 40. Not sure what we're talking about there. Something I said, probably. Nathan, AMAC. Oh, looking at capacity for the stadium, 45,301. There you go. That's what Google says. Nathan Campbell says hi. Eveni Masuli. I like that name. Or Evini Masuli. Anyway, running game rolling was rolling delay. That's funny. Play on words. I love it. That takes some time to think about that stuff. 513 Bearcat. We already played UCF in one, so there you go. I was wrong. So I'm not sure what that reference was on to Cincinnati. I don't know what that means. And right now, last comment, 513 Bearcat says, it's bring your own. What's WA, people? Somebody tell me before we sign this out. I need to know what WA is. Bring your own. Help me. 513 Bearcat, tell me. I need to know. Bring your own whoop ass. Is that it? Mr. Ed Wayner, good to see you. Howdy from the Utah versus Houston game. Oh, okay. Bunch of Ute fans in our section. Nice turnout by Ute fans. Go Cougs. That would be Houston Cougars. So, yeah. Anyway, everybody, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. 200 people watching on Twitter, on YouTube, certainly watching on Twitch. Thank you all for everything you're doing and all of your support. BYU plus Iowa. That's what 513 said. 513 Bearcat says BYU plus Iowa. All right. Everybody, keep watching Big 12 games. 200 people watching right now. Follow me on Twitter. Turn on your notifications so you know when I'm on again, or when Ute's on, or when Moen's on, or when Pickles is on, or anybody on the team is on. Turn on those notifications both on YouTube and on Twitter, and join us. Become a part of the Mafia family. We're here for you. And send me a DM if you think there's something that we should be doing we're not doing, or if there's stuff we should be covering we're not covering, because I know there is. I just don't know what you all care about. Make sure you're following on Twitter. Make sure you're cheering for Big 12 teams. And if you're cheering and you don't cheer for the team across from you because you're playing them, cheer for those next best teams. If you're sitting in Cincinnati right now, you need to be cheering for Iowa State and BYU and Kansas State, frankly. I'm missing one. I might be missing a fourth, but certainly BYU, Iowa State, and Kansas State you need to be cheering for, because the Big 12, we need more eyeballs. Ooga Booga, Craig the Panda. Yeah, it was a short timeout. Panda, I don't know who you are. You come in, you're cussing, you're doing other stuff. I'm going to wrap up the show. But I'll remember your name. And if this happens again, we'll we probably won't be seeing you again. Anyway, send me any comments, questions on YouTube. On Twitter. I'm here for you. Otherwise, I'm going to put this mic down. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go watch some more football. Probably the Utah game. Who Matthew J. Kipp says Utah's up 7. Not sure what the time is on that. And Nathan Campbell says Texas Tech. Craig the Panda says, but still, why you hack Moen Vision? I didn't hack anything. Moen is a partner, and I just clicked every channel that I thought had links that would work on Twitter. Moen Vision happened to be one of those things. Didn't hack it. And if that upset you because you're a Moen Vision fan and not Moen After Dark, which is football, okay, all right. I appreciate the heads up. We'll try not to do that again. Other than that, everybody have a great weekend. Stay out of trouble. Send me comments and questions on Twitter. I want to engage. I'm sad I didn't get anybody else to join me tonight, but you know what? That's kind of the way it works. And Craig the Panda now figures it out, and I figured it out. He says, oh, okay. Everybody have a great night. Go Big 12. Stay out of trouble. And we're going to say peace out. See ya.